What's up, Go enthusiasts? One of the greatest Go players of all time lived in China in the 1600s. His name was Huang Longshi. His title was Guoshuo, which means he's the strongest player in all of China. But people didn't call him that, they just called him Longshi the Prodigy. He was so much better than his peers, it's pretty easily arguable that he's the best player relative to his peers of all time. In middle age, he lived in the house of his student, Zhu Jingyu Ershao. Ershao means that Zhu Jingyu needed 2 stones from the Guoshuo. It's an interesting ranking system they had back in ancient China, where they judged rank not by a number of pro or dan or q ranks, but by how many stones you needed from the strongest player in all the lands. Huang Longshi confided with Zhu Jingyu, "You can keep the title of Ershao, but I am not like any normal Guoshuo. You need 3 stones from me." And Zhu Jingyu was affronted. He couldn't believe it. Zhu Jingyu is improving. He has Huang Longshi, one of the greatest Go players of all time, in his house. And Huang Longshi says he needs 3 stones? Zhu Jingyu was no slouch. I think if Zhu Jingyu were alive today, he would be 9 dan on all the online servers. No problem. But Huang Longshi gave him 3 stones in a 10-game match, and this match came to be known as the Games of Blood and Tears. Let's check out game 1. Huang Longshi plays white. Zhu Jingyu has 3 stones and no Komi. Komi wasn't invented back then, but the handicap is so huge that we wouldn't use Komi nowadays either. Huang Longshi starts with a 5-3 point. We wouldn't play like this nowadays, and Zhu Jingyu plays here. We wouldn't play like this nowadays either. There's a reason why they play like this, though. You see, back in those days, there was something that they called group tax. The way that the rules worked, it was scored by how many stones you got on the board rather than how much territory you made. And because of that, if you had, say, 5 groups, you would need to make 2 eyes with each of those groups to put all your stones on the board at the end of the game. So basically, every group that you have, when it comes to scoring, costs you 2 points. So we called it group tax nowadays, where if you play by these rules, at the end of the game, you count your territory and you just subtract 2 for each group. So that means that winning the game is less about going into 3-3s, going into taking small territories in all the corners, getting a bunch of groups and having the territory add up, because each of those territories is 2 less. And instead, the game is a lot about initiative, trying to make your stones into one big group and attack your opponent with them. So both players are eyeing the corner. The corner is still more valuable than the side, but they're doing it from the outside in a way which they hope will allow them to gain initiative against their opponent's stones later in the game. Here you can see Huang Longshi takes that to great extent, even playing this move rather than the corner. It means that if black will take the corner, Huang Longshi intends to seal it in and take an influence. So black takes the side instead. We would never see play like this these days, but under group tax rules, it makes a lot more sense. White continues by approaching to the 4-4 in the bottom right. Black backs off with a large knight's move. This was very popular at the time, and also popular was to approach it again. Yeah, you can see they don't care about invading the corner at all. Huang Longshi would rather attack the corner than ever invade it. Actually, this move, I can't really defend it even with group tax. We shouldn't really attack a corner like this. It's a little bit crazy, but this is a 3-stone handicap game. And so basically anything that you can do to cause your opponent to have weaknesses, even if it's not really theoretically correct, go for it. This game will never be boring, that's for sure. Zhu Jingyu takes a 5-3 in the open corner, and Huang Longshi approaches, just like we saw in the bottom left. This time, Zhu Jingyu takes the 3-3. So just as white is trying to make the game complicated, black also wants to have solid positions if possible. When white plays the jump now, black tries to defend his group by giving it a route to the side. So he's pincering the 2 white stones so that this group would not just end up passive but have some counterattacking potential. Huang Longshi says counterattacking potential. I'll have some of that too. Thank you very much. Pincers. Trying to make the game complicated, of course. And Zhu Jingyu repincers again. I don't think his initial concept was that he wants to make the fighting as good as he can, but more like Zhu Jingyu is dreaming of a big area in the upper left. White plays the diagonal move. So he's trying to punish that one stone on the top side of black, and black runs out right away. I actually don't think that this is exactly Zhu Xingyu's plan, or if it was, he should get a new plan because this is not very good for black. Huang Langshe shows one reason why, although there's other reasons why. Huang Langshe attaches here, and this is preventing black from connecting to the corner. Black's idea when they play the descending move is that there's two routes back for these three stones. Either they can connect back on the top side to that stone or to the corner, either by attaching at P18 or L18. This attachment, which Huang Langshe plays, is preventing black's connection back to the corner. Well, Zhu Xingyu says, how much? How much does it really do that? And Huang Langshe shows a very nice timing by playing the diagonal move first. And Zhu Xingyu could try to connect on the top side, but that would leave a cut on the right side. Zhu Xingyu should instead connect here. It's correct. But Huang Langshe can show you that actually the disconnection to the corner is very solid and clean. Zhu Xingyu can only connect back to the side, but by asking the questions over here, he's actually gotten himself in some trouble in the upper right corner. Already, Huang Langshe has taken back some of his initial disadvantage from the three stones. Not very much, but some. He takes back a bit more when Zhu Xingyu tries to save his group with territory. So Zhu Xingyu says that the corner is the base of not only the black group, but also the white group, but it doesn't control very well for the running condition. And Huang Langshe shows why that this is not a very good idea when he plays the knight's move and shows that black has not managed to actually make a living shape and black still must run out. Then since white gets the first move in the center where black wants to run out, white should be able to be the one taking control here. Okay. Zhu Xingyu, it may sound like he's a slouch, like he's not that good when I'm talking like this. He's no slouch. He's a good player. And he knows how to run out from this kind of shape. It's not just a basic method of running out, it's an attach. You attach to gain strength, and especially you attach when you know that you have other forcing moves that make it work. So white cannot cut this off because black could Atari, threatening to kill the white topside and then block, and white would end up in a position where white is being split through the middle. Huang Langshe knows that, and he wouldn't easily allow himself to be split. Huang Langshe starts on the top side. He's trying to make it so that rather than white being split between two things he wants to do on the top side and the right side, black is the one who will get split. He's trying to make it so that white can have power in the center that threatens the top side and threatens the right side at the same time. And Zhu Xingyu knows that. He knows, too, what Huang Langshe's plan is. He plays the cut first. He says, yeah, you want me to defend on the top side so you can take the power in the center? Then let me take the center. Huang Langshe connects here, trying to keep the maximum pressure that he can on black. Suddenly we have a crazy fight breaking out, right? This should be in Huang Langshe's favor unless black can find a nice sequence to break through and attack the white stones on the top side. Black plays the cut. The cut and descend here is an interesting sequence where black has created a liberty shortage, a liberty problem for white on the top side. And this is actually well calculated by Zhu Xingyu. He now knows he can Atari and push here. White needs to push this one. White can't cut because the liberty shortage means that he would be the one dying first, not black. White needs to push for more liberties, but black can play the peep here. And when white answers, black can hane, and white cannot cut because he would again die on the top side first. So Zhu Xingyu has carefully calculated this to use the shortage of liberty technique from the cut that Huang Langshe left on the top side to force Huang Langshe to run through. So Huang Langshe has to play the double peep into the push through. But this gives Zhu Xingyu the timing to fix his group on the right side. That black group is now alive, and white must defend himself on the top side. Zhu Xingyu can connect here, and it seems like it was a success for Zhu Xingyu. But when I checked with AI likes white. Huang Langshe is so strong, even when black does everything right, it seems like black still doesn't win. Like still somehow white gained. Actually, the reason why white is fine here is just that from the very beginning, the fight was never going to be very good for Black. From the very beginning, whenever Black had the weak group here, it was already trouble. And although Black fought well to get to here, almost all the moves were the best moves by Black. He didn't gain anything. It's so tough to beat Huang Longshe. Black still has a massive advantage from his 3 stones. Just because White has caught up a little bit does not mean that White is leading or even vaguely close to leading at this stage of the game. So White plays another defensive move here, looking to eventually take power against the Black group on the top side. Black plays the clamp. Black is asking White whether he can connect underneath on the first line at some point and manage to save this group while trying to run to the top side for territory. Actually, White should allow that. If the game was very close, then White would just defend his group, allow Black to do whatever he wants to do on the top side, and continue playing. But this is a 3-stone game. Huang Longshe is still extremely losing, so he must play Hane, or at least he feels he must play Hane. It's an overplay, where this Black group will not be immediately attacked. In fact, Black could just spend his move like pushing here or defending his group on the top side, and White's stones do not gain territory. It's not a very good move for White. But Black decided to dare a little bit here. He took a move on the third line on the top side, so he's taking some territory and saying, hey, that group, I mean, I know you say you're attacking it, but how much are you really attacking it? Like that's not that weak, right? Huang Longshe finds a pretty good method to continue. He plays the push here, forcing Black to break the shape and then taking the stone. So that's a nice sequence where he's fixed the Black push at the same time as he takes the Panuki in the center. But Black can still run. Black plays this one. Black plays the peep. You can see Zhu Jingyu is a little bit immature when he plays like this. Actually, Zhu Jingyu becomes the Guoshuo later in life, pretty soon after this match, to be honest. Huang Longshe unfortunately passes away, and Zhu Jingyu is the top player in China of the next age. So you can see how crazy it is that they played a 10-game match where Zhu Jingyu takes 3 stones. But at this stage, he isn't the Guoshuo yet. He isn't quite that strong yet. This peep, the best player in China would know that this peep loses the chance to use the weakness that White doesn't have that stone from the other side. So if, for example, you don't play that peep and would just play this jump first, later you may want to defend that Black group again, and you may want to play Tiger when you do that. And then this leaves a threat to play the Atari, where the White shape on the top side can become a little bit disjointed and can potentially be attacked, right? But if you've already played the peep, you don't really have any pressure that you can use from the center later after you jump here. So this peep is a little bit of a bad exchange by Black. Huang Longshe gains a little bit subtly, and he continues by approaching. So after this, Huang Longshe has actually already caught up about half the lead of the 3 stones. The result on the top side, because White is now very strong and thick here after this peep, and the other group is quite thick, really the only reason why Black is still leading is that he has a bunch of stones making territory throughout the board, and White doesn't have that yet. So Black is just leading on points, not really even initiative at the moment. Well, Zhu Jingyu makes another peep. Also, I'm not really sure that that one is good, and then plays the pincer. The games in ancient China were about initiative. They were all fighting games. They didn't really play very territorial style back then. So Black is going to try to take the initiative back. Just because you lose in one area of the board doesn't mean you have to lose in the other areas of the board. Huang Longshe plays the jump, and Black plays another jump. This is correct. This makes sense. It is putting the maximum amount of pressure on this White group, which is globally the right thing to do, because the other White group here is still not alive. There's only a half an eye on the top side because Black can play this Atari at any time and falsify. So this White group is really not that strong. This White group also not that strong. Zhu Jingyu is going to try to put Huang Longshe in trouble. Huang Longshe plays here. He's trying to outline some territory, but also save his 2 stones by giving them counter pressure against the Black 2 stones. Same idea that Zhu Jingyu played on the top side. Zhu Jingyu defends like this, trying to help against the attach under that white often has in this position, and white plays the peep here. I think I understand why Huang Longshe played this one, because theoretically, it's wrong for black to connect. This move is a bit too heavy, and the black shape can become a target like this, where white can sort of connect to that stone and look to sort of dominate the center and chase this group and even chase the black group in the center later. But I don't really like the peep. I think the peep is a bad exchange in a 3-stone game especially, because it prevents Huang Longshe from using the dual cutting weakness in other interesting ways. We're going to see that later. Black plays the jump down, and white plays the kick. So black's jump down was looking to take the corner and defend his corner, and once again, it's reaching for the group on the other side. You can see they both like to defend their groups by defending the group on the other side and getting some counterattacking potential. It was a good strategy. Black answers this by playing here. So he's making sure that his whole group will be very thick in the corner. That's going to give him the most pressure to be able to attack, launch an attack on the white stones there and the white stones on the side. Huang Longshe plays the clamp. And this was one of Huang Longshe's specialties, to be able to play this kind of move and use his opponent's response. You see, it's so awkward to respond to this move at this timing. If you play down, like Zhu Jingyu did, then white gets a bunch of forcing moves in the center. White can play the wedge and connect, or even wedge and play the ko, and it's always threatening to capture these two black stones. If black just responds, then white gets a lot more thickness with his group on the outside, which he can use to keep the pressure on. So this move, which takes more territory, is losing a bit in initiative. Actually, black was supposed to just connect here, but it's so hard to play. Your opponent clamps and you're supposed to just connect, where they can just connect under at some point later in the endgame. They'll connect under and reduce your territory. Your base is going to be so small after that. That's really hard to play, so Zhu Jingyu plays this one instead. And Huang Longshe tries to wait to use his increased power by playing the attachment here. However, I think this was possibly Huang Longshe's biggest mistake of the game to go for this. Because when this variation is played, in most cases, we don't have this peeping exchange. And after that peeping exchange is on the board, black can play this Atari. And the shape here is horrendous for white. All the black stones are where they're supposed to be, but what is that white stone doing? Why does white have some random empty triangle? This shape is really, really bad for Huang Longshe. He thought that this could be okay because he would be able to save the things and start putting pressure on black here. But actually there's many methods here which black could use to regain and more all of his 3-stone advantage. In the game he plays like this. And actually this is not one of the methods. This is one of the biggest mistakes that black could play in the position. Black should have played maybe Atari down, and then like this, and Hane. This Hane would work. If white cuts, there's no way for white to capture any of the outside surrounding black stones before white would be captured instead. So white can only save those stones by playing the clamp and connect under. Not only does this give black an option to save these stones with a ko later, but the shape for white is just awful. I think it's really clear if you see this variation that the the white fighting just can't be done like this. Black can play here now, fix the corner, threaten to save these stones. If white cuts them off, save them in ko anyway. Even if white manages to capture the whole bottom, black's shape on the outside is so thick that it hardly means anything anyway. Black could also have played Atari here and then play this one. This would help out the Liberty situation quite a bit. It means if white tries to run, however, black can net. Yeah, white could capture the inside, but even just a surround like this is already very successful for black. Although white manages to save his group inside, there's no way that this game is going to be a good fight for white. In the game black played here. So he was thinking he wanted to capture that one white stone. All those other variations that I showed, white could technically save it. And this way, black can capture that stone and become very thick by taking eye space underneath that stone. But white can play the Atari and the Descend in Sente. Black must answer like this, and white can finally use the clamp to take his Sente on the outside, threatening to play O1. Yeah, if white would play O1 now, black would have a very annoying time capturing these 3 stones. It would actually mean that white gets P3 in Sente, so white has basically already stolen the corner. Black can't really take the corner right now, or he would give away the side. Black just chooses to Tanuki. He plays here. And this is the correct way to play, and it's the punish for white's method of handling things. White's problem was that they were too greedy to go to this area, and the shape became in a lot of trouble. Black is going to show that. He can't really defend his group like this, but he can defend this group by counterattacking. It wouldn't be nice to make a base, but to suddenly start attacking all of the white stones, that could be nice. So attach here. White just pulls back, trying to save himself, and attach across here. This was a nice sequence by Zhu Jingyu, playing the attach, attacking these stones to make a ladder breaker. White plays this in Sente. Black must exchange this. You see what I was talking about earlier, and then capture the 3 stones. White can't play N1 because it's self-Atari. That was the meaning of this sequence. White could now try to save in the corner, but it's so passive. It doesn't really do anything to the black shape, and even black can continue to bully the white shape over there. So white has a very interesting idea right now. Huang Longshe plays this one, but the ladder doesn't work. But he's playing the ladder. But Huang Longshe, the ladder, your student played a ladder breaker, man. Huang Longshe played a fake ladder. He just played it to try to capture the right side, allow black to bust through the white shape, save the stones. Black has such a nice influence in the center now, after that variation. But white has just about captured the right side. If it indeed did capture the right side, this would be a great variation for white. One of the coolest variations, I think, of all time. Unfortunately, Zhu Jingyu has a method still to save that area in Ko, or to try to do a little something. We're going to see that much later into the game, because saving a group like this in Ko is not something you want to do early in the mid game. It's something to do as you transition to end game. This variation, because of that Aji, is not as beautiful as Huang Longshe may have hoped. And there's a big problem as well, that the black center shape is so unbelievably solid. It's so thick in the center that we can just about ascribe all of these intersections as black territory. Normally in the center, you can't call anything territory because it can still be reduced from the outside, that sort of thing. But in this case, black has it's so strong. It's so hard to do anything. And Huang Longshe has basically only one moment left to make any use of the weakness that black has here, and he misses it with his next move when he plays here. Huang Longshe knew that he had to defend somehow against black's threat to attack this group by cutting it. But the way that he did it, giving black the bamboo shape, was just not good. It would have been much better to break the bamboo like this. Now, if black answers, then white can cut. And white is threatening to counterattack the black stones here that bust through the ladder. And it looks like there may be a ladder this way. If there were, then it would be correct for black to exchange this Atari and then play this one. But it just barely misses the black stones here, and the ladder works for white. Then, if the ladder works, and you cut like this, black has basically no option but to sacrifice the top side here. Of course, that would be a massive win for white. So you may think black can just pull back this way. Then white could try to cut through here. And you can see if black has to defend passively, however, like this, even if at the end white still has to defend anyway, there's so much more opportunity for white to attack this black group on the top side and otherwise reduce this black massive influence if he would have broken the bamboo and used black's cutting points instead of playing passively like this. So this was Huang Langshe's second biggest mistake of the game. If those two didn't happen, Huang Langshe could have a good chance. Still, Huang Langshe is caught up in the three-stone game like quite a bit from the start, but he hasn't made any significant gains in the bottom right fighting. White comes to take the corner. This was absolutely necessary when black has this kind of thickness. If black would have managed to take the corner as well, this white group would have to run in fear for its life for hundreds of moves. It would be big trouble. And taking the corner instead means you get territory and the base of the group. It's much more comfortable. But it means black can play the first move on the left side. And this kick is the right way to do it. It gives Huang Langshe a problem where if Huang Langshe just pushes like this, black already has some defense on the top side, so there's no real pressure there. Black could just take a pincer. So Huang Langshe tries to Hane, and he actually plays the connecting move here. This is a mistake as well. It would have been better to play a move taking a base from the black group, but he must have thought then black can play a move to take control of the left side. And although Huang Langshe has some thought of an attack on these two stones, it's very difficult to put into practice. They can definitely save themselves, and it's hard to see how white can win this game. You can see sort of everywhere black has gotten thick, at least once this group saves itself. So Huang Langshe chose to connect instead, thinking that in this variation, he leaves some more latent pressure on the black corner. There's much more chance that he can do something there, that he can start a fight. Zhu Jingyu understands, so he just defends. This defense is like not really necessary. That's why Huang Langshe played like this. There's like a little bit of shame that a top player would have to just defend here, but it makes the game very hard, very difficult for White to win. White can cap here, so he's trying to use the thickness that he has to re-attack black on the side. Black defends. Yeah, it's not like that group would be in very much danger. Huang Langshe basically has to do something now. So he plays attach. And black Hana is underneath, and Huang Langshe plays the bump. This is a really good combination sequence by Huang Langshe. And it's something that you can learn from as well. Whenever you see your opponent play this kind of thing, and in general they're trying to link up low, third line, second line, that sort of thing, you can try attachments and fighting in a way which would allow you to force them to the second line. The third line is acceptable, but the second line not so much. So Zhu Jingyu pushes up here. Because if he would just answer like this is a variation where Huang Langshe takes control. Actually, if I were playing, I would play a similar idea next. Attach here. Then if Zhu Jingyu would answer, this way, Tari again, you can see this black shape compared to the white shape. Black has made a big local loss. This is not a good variation for black. That's why Zhu Jingyu resists, like this. And that gives Huang Langshe the chance to capture the stone in the corner. It's a big territory gain for Huang Langshe, but Zhu Jingyu's shape is still nice in the center. And importantly, Zhu Jingyu is gathering strength next to his influence. So there is a large potential area in the center. Huang Langshe has to do something about that. But he still has a weak group there, and he still has some problems here. He tries Hane. But it leaves Zhu Jingyu an opportunity to be very aggressive, which black correctly takes. He Ataris here, and plays the push. So this means that these two stones for white are now heavy because black played the Atari, and very difficult to save. Huang Langshe plays the Atari here and starts trying to run them out, so he gets this Sente move. And Huang Langshe is going to try to keep some counter pressure on the black group here, the black group there, as he tries to save. But you can see, when I show these black groups, it's just not that weak. You know, this black group, these white stones are so much weaker. Those white stones are so much weaker. This black group is almost alive already, right? The counter pressure is difficult to really pull off. Black is definitely in control of the game. White pushes here. Zhu Jingyu gets an idea. He says, hey, I can play Atari here, and then I can play here. White answers. Zhu Jingyu's idea is clear. Later, he can cut at the 3-3. And that's going to be the sequence that Zhu Jingyu uses to start a ko. But he plays here first. If he would play this right away, White can't kill because White is short on liberties. You see, this is Atari, and if White answers, whoops, that would be bad. So when this happens, the only way for Huang Longshe to try to capture the black corner is to play this ko. Try to win the ko. And Zhu Jingyu thought, oh, I can make a miai. Either I'm going to try to win the ko, or I'm going to try to capture the center. So what he did is he tried to play the most aggressive moves in the center. He played the hane, like this, and he's trying to show that the white shape there is as weak as possible. Then his ko-threats will be really, really big. So he's forcing Huang Longshe to save the group in the center, and hoping that he's going to have big ko-threats and then be able to make a miai between the center attacking or the corner. It's a good plan by Zhu Jingyu. And Huang Longshe has basically nothing to do but push a bunch of times, taking the very solid shape here. So to make sure that he can save the center even under threat of ko-threats. But when he does this, the other group, it doesn't have a base. It's not safe. So Huang Longshe is in like a deep trouble here. It's actually really hard to figure out how to play this. He plays here. Yeah, I think this is just the pressure that Zhu Jingyu is putting Huang Longshe under, because this is a horrible move. This is the third worst move that he played this game, the third mistake by Huang Longshe. Honestly inexplicable. I can't understand why any very strong player would play like this. Of course, Zhu Jingyu will just answer, and black is much stronger now. I don't get it. Like this white move is useless. The black move is very useful. I mean, maybe the white move is like taking an eye or something and is like preventing black from counterattacking the white stick here. Very hard, but that was not necessary. That was not the first order of action. This was too early for anything like that. And yeah, Huang Longshe has definitely lost control of this game. However, it is never that easy. White plays here. Yeah, you were gonna attack me in the center and the side and the corner. Well, try. Huang Longshe tries to save. Zhu Jingyu plays here. Locally, there's not enough space for White to make two eyes. White plays here. White is going to try to put counter pressure on the black group on the top side. It would have been much easier before White played this move, but at least still now, this black group does not have any clear two eyes. Black plays here, trying to connect. White plays this move. If White wouldn't play there, then black would be able to cleanly disconnect this whole center stuff and start attacking the white group on the top side as he attacks the white group in the center. This move is definitely necessary to make all the white stones as thick as possible and keep pressure on the black group in the center. Black plays the peep. White connects, black tenukis. It was really nice by Zhu Jingyu. What Huang Longshe was hoping for was that Zhu Jingyu would get scared, defend like this. So now the whole black group is definitely fine. Black takes the center territory here, but white could play in this area. Then white would be putting a lot of pressure back on the black 5 stones, and this variation, white would be able to try to save his group on the side pretty easily, save the group in the corner. If white saves everything here, after he was so deep earlier, then white could actually win this game, even though black had 3 stones at the beginning. So this black move was really nice. It was necessary to try to kill the white group on the side here, allow white to play whatever move he wants to play in the center, and black says, hey, anyway, I've read them all. I know you can't do anything that serious. White plays Atari and tries to save in the side. It is never that easy. Black has to kill like this. This is the only move with a reasonable threat to kill. White plays this move. Black plays here. So protecting his group in the center, trying to keep white in a big liberty problem. White plays here. Black has to hane. Black has to keep these white stones dead. But white has a secret weapon that he is currently lining up. You see, white can play a cut here. And the 3 stones on the bottom side, they still have 2 liberties. If white gets any Sente moves on the outside and manages to save this group while not allowing black to make an eye on the top side, the whole black group could die. So white prepares to be able to do that, because he realizes that if he does that, there's going to be a ko. More on that later, but white plays Atari first and connect here. Trying to save his group on the top side, black can play the throw-in. When white answers, black can play this cut, and everything works for black, for now. White cuts. Black Ataris. White plays wedge. Black has only 2 liberties here. It looks like he can save Atari here. This is a reasonable move, trying to capture the inside white, trying to capture the 1 stone. White plays ko. It's Atari. Black captures. White plays Atari. White has made himself ko threats, threatening to save his top white group. But black realizes, hey, if you just save that group and I win this ko, it should be good for me. Look, I managed to fix the ko. Actually, if that ko would keep going, then white would be able to play a bunch of Sente moves, and that ko would eventually be for the entire black group. Black fixes that, takes the center, and just allows white to save on the side. That would be good. But there's a problem. White plays here. Why do you do that? White wasn't intent on saving his group. White was trying to kill this black. Not just save, but save by capturing a huge dragon in the center. Black connects. White plays here, fixing the Ataris. This group is dead. Black Ataris once, Ataris here, connects here, white connects here, white wins the Liberty Race. Oh boy. It was a big mistake by black. Black should not have won the ko like this. He should have answered once, made sure that he could still save his group in the center, even if he's going to let white save. This ko threat was much bigger than anticipated. Black has to start the ko in the corner. If Huang Langshe can cover this ko without a big loss, the game is very close, and maybe Huang Langshe can even lead. The game is intense. Huang Langshe captures the ko. Black plays a ko threat. Black captures the ko. White plays a ko threat. Capture. Ko threat. Capture. Here. White is trying to transition the ko to the next stage because he doesn't feel he has that many major ko threats, but it was a mistake. So he's going to try to play local ko threats now, Huang Langshe, but this actually allows black to expand the size of the ko to not just be about black living, but about black killing the white corner. Right now, if black wins the ko, white can still try to fight a capture race at least with the corner against that group. It wouldn't be that easy for black to kill the corner. But after this exchange, black plays here. Now whenever black wins the ko, he'll capture. And this white group, even if it can make an eye, which it does after playing a ko threat, it captures. This is Sente to try to capture these stones. Black must answer. White has an eye, but whenever black wins the ko, black will be cleanly alive and white will then be dead. So before this happened, white needed to make a cut in the upper left to make the ko threats there bigger. And at this point, that could also still be a ko threat. But this move first, making his local ko threats, Huang Langshe accidentally increased the size of the ko before getting a ko threat that he needed. And at the end of this, Huang Langshe will be 1 ko threat short. They keep playing their ko threats, but you see Huang Langshe eventually allowed black to capture and saved his group through here. This was at a moment where Huang Langshe was supposed to play a ko threat. He just lost the ko in Sente. Allows black to play like this, and from here they play an endgame, but eventually Zhu Jingyu wins by 13 points. Actually, the endgame was lost to history. We don't know exactly what happened, but when I checked with my Katago, it said that currently black is winning by 13 points, so they must have played a very good endgame. Wow, what a game. Huang Langshe fought so hard, gained so much, and if he had played perfectly, he could have won. But just a couple minor mistakes throughout the game made it impossible to beat Zhu Jingyu this time. But I'm very excited to continue reviewing the games of Blood and Tears, the full 10-game match if possible. I must thank my patron for suggesting to me this game. If you would like to support me as well, you can like the video, subscribe. You can check out my Patreon if you're such inclined, but it's not necessary. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.